Hey guys, today I wanted to talk to you about another tip, another style tip, and I'm not really sure how many of you guys have been in a situation where you needed to iron a shirt, but today I wanted to talk a little bit about ironing shirts. It's not one of those things that you absolutely need to do, but or that you absolutely need to know how to do, but it always helps. For me, it's like therapy. I like to iron my shirts because there's a time where I think about things, and it's that time to myself, and it helps me to kind of put my ideas together while I'm doing that. So today we're going to talk about ironing shirts, and it takes in average takes should take about 4 to 6 minutes to iron a shirt if you do it right. There's not a established way to do it, but there's a couple of ways where you can actually do it easier, and you can save time and make it more effective for yourself. So I'm going to bring a shirt that I have here. And you're probably thinking, this guy's talking about ironing shirts and my shirt is all wrinkled. But it's a linen shirt, and linen wrinkles very easy. That's the nature of linen. It's just a matter of you understanding, of the person understanding linen, and embracing the look of linen, of the wrinkles and everything. I think it's a very, very cool juxtaposition of ideas where you have clean, great tailoring, but then you add a little bit of that casualness to it by adding some natural wrinkles that are supposed to be there. But that's just an idea on figuring this out. So plus the linen wrinkles, yes. Is it necessary to iron? Probably not. But wearing a nice, clean, pressed linen shirt, it's an incredible feel. And to me, every morning when I reach to get my shirt, to get my linen shirt, and is perfectly pressed, it sets up the mood for the whole day. It gives me a great feel for the whole day. A brand new beginning, a clean slate, a blank canvas, a perfectly impeccable way to start your day and put something beautiful in it. So that's why I like to wear a perfectly pressed linen shirt every day, just for the feel that puts me in, the mood that puts me in for the rest of the day, and it pays off. So and out of honesty, it's going to wrinkle within 10 minutes of wearing it. But that moment where you actually take it off your closet and you put it on sets the whole mood for the day. So that moment is worth the whole work. I usually invest about an hour a week ironing my shirts. It takes me about 4 to 6 minutes per shirt, and I have probably 10 shirts. So I wait till all of them are ready to be washed, wash all of them at once, pull them out of the washer, dryer, hang them, and take 1 hour to iron all my shirts every week. Not bad. It's not necessarily because I'm saving money, it's just that it's 1 hour to be thinking about my things. It's 1 hour that I'm investing in myself, and on top of that, as a bonus, I get all these clean, crisp, pressed shirts in my closet that every day sets up the mood to be a great day. So without further ado, this is a linen shirt. So to be able to iron your linen shirt, first thing we're going to iron is the sleeve. So we're going to do the sleeves first. So what we do is you find the bottom seam, and then you kind of lay flat the shirt, and we're gonna take off the hanger. We don't need the hanger here. So I'm just gonna put the hanger here. So what we do first is we're gonna lay flat the sleeve, and then we partition it right where the seam is, and then you just lay it flat from the front. So we're gonna do this. Sometimes I do the back. Sometimes it's better to do the back because when you do the back, it's easier to maneuver the cuff. So when you do that, you just kind of lay it flat. Let's iron from the back of the flat side. So you're gonna grab your iron. So nice hot iron. Typically for linen, you put it at the linen, which is gonna be the max. Linen needs a lot of heat to get rid of those wrinkles. So now we have a nice hot iron, and also you're gonna need a spray bottle. Typically your iron has steam or sprayer. I like to do this because I know my water is clean, it's filtered water, and sometimes you get inside, depending on how old the iron is, sometimes you get residue in there, and it may stain the shirt sometimes. So you have to make sure that your water receptacle is clean, the iron is good, and it's clean, because sometimes the starch or detergent or any residue in your fabric can put a little halo that with heat it burns and it turns it brown. And when you do whites, when you iron whites, this is very important, because a lot of people say, well, I don't want to iron my white shirt because it always turns brown, I was gonna burn it. Well, it's because either the shirt has a little bit of detergent residue, it's not well rinsed, or it has a little bit of starch residue, or it has body moisture or perspiration from your body. Those three things, when you iron and put a lot of heat on the shirt, that's gonna turn your fabric brown. So it's not necessarily just the heat, it's the residue that is in the fabric. This is very important in keeping a white clean shirt. So now we have the iron. You make sure that the iron is nice and clean, and the receptacle has water and is nice and clean in there. If not, I've ruined many shirts doing that. So what I do now is I use just a sprayer. So you spray a little bit of water in your sleeve, and then you just press the iron. Put a little bit of weight, nice firmly pressed. And one tip that I can give you is, don't with any fabric, just follow the dial or the amount of heat. Typically, like I said, for linen is higher heat. Always pay attention to that. For cotton is medium heat, and then from wool it's a little low to medium heat. And just follow that, and don't keep your iron for more than 5 seconds in one spot. No more than 5 seconds. Some fabrics can handle a little more, but it's not necessary, and you run the risk that you are going to ruin your shirt, or you're gonna do a little slight burning. So 5 seconds tops. So I usually just go very slow and I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So I'm drinking mint tea today. Yeah, if it was 5 o'clock, it would be an old fashioned, but it's not. So we're gonna do mint tea. So now we have the sleeve. So after the sleeve, you do the cuff. So we just lay flat the cuff. Do the same thing. Just press. Make sure that you don't see any creases. Make sure that when you push the iron, it doesn't make waves in the fabric, and then you catch those waves and you turn it into a crease. Just make sure that you don't do that. So you're just gonna pull the fabric a little tight, and then just go and iron from there. So now we have the sleeve and the cuff. Then we're gonna do the same thing for the other side. You lay it flat from the back side, and find the seam, just gonna partition it right in the, part it right in the, on the seam, and then spray it with your water, and then press, firmly press. You need a little bit of weight in there, and like I said, no more than 5 seconds in the same spot. You don't want to burn your shirt. Then you have that. So we're gonna do left sleeve and cuff, right sleeve and cuff, and then after that we're gonna do the collar. We're gonna lay it flat. So we're gonna grab this shirt, and we're gonna get the collar, and then we're gonna lay it flat like this, and then we're just gonna go from there, and again press. Make sure that you get the collar foot. This is called the collar, but then this right here, this piece right here, is called the collar foot. So the collar foot, you gotta make sure that that one is ironed too. You stretch it, you pull the fabric. Let's see if I can do this. I can show you a little better. No, I can't. So, well, you pull the fabric, and then you iron. That way you can get rid of all those wrinkles. So, pull and just press. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we have the iron. The collar is iron. So now we have left sleeve and cuff, right sleeve and cuff, and then the collar and the collar foot. So next we're gonna do the back. The reason we do the back next, and the reason I do it in this order is because the sleeves, they have less chance to get wrinkled versus the body. If you do the body first, by the time you are doing the sleeves and the cuffs and the collar, then you start moving the shirt around and laying the shirt and placing the shirt, and then you start getting wrinkles that shouldn't be there. So we do the sleeves first, and then the sleeves, when we're doing the body, the sleeves are just hanging from the side of the board, so we don't really need to, they don't really get wrinkled. So from there, the back is easier, and then we do one side of the back. So for the back, typically, and I'm gonna move this a little more back so we can see better. I use the wider side of the board. The narrower side of the board, typically the board goes like a surfboard. So the narrower part of it is, I usually, typically I use it for pants, so I can slide the leg of the pant. It's a little narrower, and then we can just do the legs of the pants over there. But then the wider side of the board, I use it because it gives me enough surface to iron the shoulder back area. So yeah, so we're gonna make it fit in the corner of the board, the ironing board, and then just gonna make fit the shoulder and the back. And then we do one side, and then we move it to the other side, and then we do the other side of the back, the left side of the back. Make sure that it kind of fits in there, and then we just go and press slowly, and about 4 seconds in each spot. Now, then after we do the back, we do, when you are doing the back, you kind of make sure that you do the yoke. This part right here is called the yoke. You see this line right here, not my t-shirt, not my tank top shirt under, but there's a seam right here. So this right here that goes up here is called the yoke. So make sure that you get that seam right there, because usually when you wash it, it kind of shrinks, all the seams kind of shrink. So make sure that you kind of stretch it a little bit, and you do the seams. The seams are very important. Just kind of stretch the seam and iron the seam, and put a little bit of spray water, and that's gonna look beautiful. Same with this side right here, this seam right here. You lay it flat, put a little bit of spray water, and then just kind of pull and and iron, or pull and iron. Just kind of stretch it with your hand and then iron it. That way you get a nice clean seams inside and in the yoke and the shoulder seam. Now we have the back. Now we're gonna do the front of the shirt. Typically for our shirts, we make our shirts without a placket and without pockets. I try to do our shirts as simple as possible. Move this a little bit. As simple as possible, as effective as possible, and that's why we don't put any plackets. It makes it more minimalist, clean looking, and it's less bulky if you're wearing a blazer, or if you're wearing a jacket, or where you're wearing something. If you want to do something that is a little more slim cut, a little more snug, then you want the least amount of fabric. The placket is extra. To me, it's just extra fabric. Pockets, extra fabric. All that stuff is extra fabric. Just keep it simple. I try to keep everything as simple as possible, as effective as possible, and avoid any kind of clutter. So that to me is clutter. Same with with our collars. Our collars are gonna be a cutaway collar, which it looks nice and clean. It accommodates the collar under the blazer a little better, and it rolls. It makes like a little softer, more organic roll instead of a flat crease. So this looks really cool. So just kind of put your finger in there and go like that. Now you have a nice roll, and it stays like that. It kind of rolls like that, and it stays like that. This is a crucial part of your shirt. This right here. So we're gonna talk about the front of the shirt really quick. Right and left panels, no placket, no pockets. When you have a placket and pockets, then it's a little more time consuming for the ironing. So in this case, we don't have that, so it's gonna be quick. You just lay it flat, and typically I do the side with no buttons first, and then just kind of lay it there. Again, put the iron down, and then just kind of stretch the fabric, and then just go from there, stretch. Make sure every seam that you run over every seam. These seams are important too. That is right here. So lay it flat, then you go with the iron over that. Like I said, it sounds like a lot of work, but it's 4 to 6 minutes per shirt. So you can get 7, 8 shirts done in 1 hour. And so once we have that, we go to the other side where the buttons are, and we just lay it flat, and we do the same thing. Just kind of make sure that you don't catch any waves in the fabric, because that's going to turn into creases, and then just go between the buttons, like that. Very simple, man. Super simple. And then we just catch. You can just pinch the very edge of it. Just pull a little bit, and then just go right next to the buttons. And that's the way to do it. And then you have a clean front. Now you have panel, left panel, right panel. Nice clean. So like I was saying, these are gonna be your takeaway points for this. The order of how you iron your shirt matters. So you're gonna do sleeve 1 and cuff, sleeve 2 and cuff, and then you're gonna do collar. You're gonna do collar and collar foot, and then you're gonna do panel, back panel at the same time. Then after that, you flip the shirt, you lay it, and you do front panel and front panel. That's gonna be the order of the elements. Now, key points: use a little bit of water, make sure the heat is right, and then after that, the key points in the shirt: seams. Make sure that the seam, especially this seam, that seam, and this seam, and this seam, they are ironed. So you run over them with your iron. So make sure that they are flat and they are not like crumply. You stretch them a little, iron them good. Seams, make sure the seams are nice. And then this part right here is essential, it's crucial for a shirt, because basically that's what is going to frame your face. This is what is going to, people are going to see if you're wearing a vest, if you're wearing a jacket, whatever you're wearing, this is what you're going to see. So make sure that you iron this part right here really well. There's no wrinkles in there, there's no wrinkles in your placket, and that way when you put the shirt rolls nicely, stays nicely. It doesn't do any funky creases, any funky folds. There's a lot of shirts, sometimes people make shirts that they fall like this and like that. For some reason our shirts are made with an up collar foot that does this. So your shirts are always going to be standing up. They're going to be nice and perky, especially when you iron them yourself. Make sure that this is nice and clean. Everything is feeling good. So when you put the shirt, the jacket, it doesn't matter that your sleeves are getting wrinkled. Front is looking great. So those are our tips. Iron the seams, iron the front of the shirt, the front top of the shirt. The order. Make sure your iron is clean, and make sure you have plenty of water, plenty of spray. Some people put a thin cloth between the iron and your shirt, and that's valid. You can do that. That way you pick up all that stuff. But if you're picky with your iron, if your iron is it's clean and your water is clean, and you make sure that your fabric doesn't have any residues, any residue of detergent or starch, then you're good to go. You're not gonna ruin your shirt, but you gotta make sure that you don't overuse detergent. Use less detergent. That way you don't have a lot of residue. That's what turns white into off-white. Detergent and then pressing, either sending it to the dry cleaners or pressing it yourself. That residue detergent in the fabric, residue chemicals in the fabric, is going to turn it brownish. So make sure that it's fully rinsed, and then you're gonna have a nice clean shirt, and you're gonna do it, and you're gonna wear it every morning, and you're gonna think, I did this, I got it myself, and I know how to do it, and it feels great. And you can put your cologne and be ready for the day. Cheers, guys. Hope you're having a good time, and come see me at 5 o'clock. I'll make you a cocktail, not an iced mint tea. See you later.